Republicans in collaboration, but the people that got elected in collaboration. What do you care about? Major problem, for example, in schools. Number one is your economy, according to every poll. Major problem with schools. Schools is 3 or 4. Believe it or not, book banning is the number one thing that people are most concerned about. Number 2 is too much focus on race, 49%. Parents, not enough say, 48%. Transgender, 48%. But the book banning's got to be defined by Ron DeSantis, and here's why. He's not banning books. What he's doing is saying there should be certain limitations for elementary school libraries, that they shouldn't have sexually explicit material. They shouldn't be telling you can pick your gender. That's the banning of books, focusing on the stories that have kids learning. But there's legitimate concern about the president. Martha Raddatz went out to colleges in Pennsylvania and neighboring areas just to talk to people about Biden, and it didn't sound good. Listen to this, cut 4.
You voted for Biden.
I did.
He announced this week. What was your reaction?
Regret, disappointment, frustration.
Well, it's very early in the race. That disappointment and frustration was expressed again and again by young voters we talked to.
I think I would go for Biden, but obviously I would prefer a fresher candidate.
He announced this week. Were you excited by that?
Not particularly. I'm more interested in a progressive candidate.
What do you like about Joe Biden?
He's not Trump.
And that's it. I mean, if you watch the people poll there, that was it. It's only because he's not Trump. That doesn't mean that Trump's not going to beat him. Head to head now, Trump's got doing well. Take a look at this poll. Now, over the last, 3 months, even though he had an indictment handed down, he got a rape trial taking place right now. He's not attending, but they're talking about it. Looks like Joe Tacopina not doing well, trying to rip apart this accuser's credibility. But Trump was at 43% among Republicans in February. In March, it went to 54. In April, it's now at 53. DeSantis was at 28. It went from 28 in February to 24 in March to 21 in April. Haley's was between 6 and 7. And then Vivek Ramaswamy moving up. But DeSantis can still very much win. He's not even in. Comes back after an international tour, and let's see what he can put together. He has not started fighting. The one thing people are critical of him is taking on Disney, but that's part of it. Because he took on Disney, these corporate weighings in on different political issues have virtually stopped because of him. In terms of how you beat Trump, listen to what Karl Rove said, cut 11.
Well, first I need to articulate a vision that says I am changed and I'm new and different. I've been a successful governor, a successful senator. I've been a successful leader in the private sector. And I've got a vision for the future that causes you to say, you know what, that sounds good. Second of all, they've got to deal with President Trump. They've got to say, you know what, you did a lot of good things, but you got baggage. You got baggage in the fact that you've been indicted for things, you may be indicted for more things, that you're a controversial figure, and that you failed to do things. You know, you said you'd build the wall. Well, when you came into office, here's how long the wall was. When you left office, it wasn't much longer. You said you'd take on China, and you proclaimed that you got this fantastic treaty with China to buy a bunch of our American agricultural product, and it didn't happen. You did nothing to attack China on the issue of stealing our intellectual property, of stealing our ideas and manufacturing processes and science and technology. You didn't do anything about that. So I appreciate the good things you did, but frankly, we need new leadership that's actually going to get things done, and I've got a demonstrated record in doing that. They're not going to be able to tiptoe around it. They've got to deal with them head on, and they've got to say, you know, the American people want more than a rerun of 2020, which is exactly where the American people are.
See, I would say this on Karl Rove very few times, so I disagree with him. I think going after Trump on the wall, drain the swamp, and on China is a dead end. Because everybody knows he did everything possible to get that wall built, and then he ended up repurposing defense fund and rebuilding, refurbishing, getting total 450 miles. If he had one more term, he would have done it. But the Republican Congress gave him $1.4 billion 3 straight times. That's not going to do it. You need 10 to 15 billion. I don't know why that was the giveaway in order to finance defense. And everybody knows he was doing his best to do the swamp, but he was a one-man machine. And he was the beginning of a trade deal with China before they poisoned the world with the pandemic. So that's a Democratic argument against Trump. That doesn't work. I think with Trump, you talk about the different policies you would have. I don't think you criticize much of what he did. You have a different foreign foreign policy. I thought if you were on DeSantis and Governor Sununu, I think he emphasized that. And I think domestically, if you think he spent too much prior to the pandemic, then say where you're going to do it. But I think just saying you spent too much, I remember the 4 years. You know what he tried to do. You gotta get Congress's support. When he had the House and Senate, he wasn't getting it from Mitch McConnell, and Paul Ryan was not delivering more than $1.4 billion. And he says he couldn't get any more because the Democrats are so dug in that Trump will not walk away with his #1 promise, and that's the wall. So they gave in on that. They thought they'd eventually get it. Trump got tired of waiting. So I don't think that's a strong argument. But I think you have to argue it. I think you have to say what your area is and get out there and don't be afraid. And I don't think that Ron DeSantis has a choice. He's got to get in there quick. He's got $110 million raised. Trump raised just 51. So that's his good news. When we come back, I'll take your calls. Also, if you want to write me, BrianKilmeade.com. You just click on comments and it'll come right to me. Also, 1-866-408-7669 to call. Did you hear Brian Kilmeade Show? Don't move.
Politics, current events, and news that affects you. Brian's got a lot more to say. Stay with Brian Kilmeade.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, or overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
If it's happening now, it's on KSRO. Local news coverage you can trust. Accurate forecasts to get you ready for what's next. Your first choice for news and weather.
Sonoma County's FM News Talk, KSRO, at 103.5 in Santa Rosa and 96.9 in Petaluma.
Hi, this is Allison Norman, host of the Real Estate Hours, Sundays right here on KSRO. If this is the year you plan to start building your real estate investment portfolio, let's chat. As a local realtor and property owner, I'm a firm believer in the power of real estate as a wealth building tool. Have you been thinking of investing in real estate but don't know where to start? I can help. Whether you're thinking of a long-term retirement strategy, passive income, an income generating vacation home, or simply looking for information, I can connect you with agents I know and trust around the world to help you through the process. Give me a call and I'll give you some honest advice, whether you decide to hire me as your realtor or not.
Allison Norman is a realtor with Keller Williams Realty, and she's host of the Real Estate Hour, Sundays at 9 a.m. on KSRO. To discuss your specific real estate needs or to make a no-obligation appointment, call or text 707-799-3617. DRE license number 01720334.
Here's the latest from Dr. Walter Tom at Dr. Tom Cosmetic Surgery.
Our nurse practitioner, Sophie, loves intense pulse light treatments called IPL photofacial. It effectively treats
Watch out. Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
our patient's #1 skin concern, brown spots due to sun exposure. Here's Nurse Sophie.
IPL is also effective in treating the redness and facial veins associated with rosacea. It targets redness and hyperpigmentation when nothing else works. I've seen amazing results. IPL is a powerful treatment.
Sophie, who are good candidates for IPL treatments?
Patients who have sun damage, brown spots, rosacea, unwanted blood vessels, broken capillaries, freckles, and uneven skin tone.
Dr. Tom was voted the best cosmetic surgeon in the North Bay. Find out why. Make an appointment today for a free consultation.
Let's stay young together.
Visit his website at drtomcosmetic.com. drtomcosmetic.com. drtomcosmetic.com.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1, find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
KSRO. Rohnert Park is listening to KSRO. Sonoma County's FM News Talk.
KSRO.
He's so busy, he'll make your head spin. It's Brian Kilmeade.
Criminals are empowered right now. Law enforcement, we just can't do what's necessary to protect the American people. And any time that this administration sends out the clear message that just the act of being in the country illegally is not enough to be deported from the United States, that empowers them even more. It emboldens them. It allows them to think that they are above the law. And that's what we saw in this particular case. This is a case that never should have happened. We shouldn't have had this person in the United States in the first place. If we would have done our jobs, if we would have done a better job, this person would not be here and these deaths would not have occurred.
And what they're talking about is the shooting death that took place over the weekend. This killer, and the rewards at $80,000, was shooting his gun in the backyard. Evidently, he does it all the time. So the people next door, the couple next door, have little kids, and they said, listen, can you shoot somewhere else? We're hearing these gunshots go on all day, and we'd like you to stop. And plus, we're getting very nervous. The kids are getting very nervous. So he basically said no. He said, all right, I'm going to have to call the cops. At that time, the guy stood on his porch with a loaded rifle as if he was going to shoot the cops. Then he decides to go next door. As they go next door, the wife walks out and says, you won't shoot me. You guys stay inside. I won't shoot a woman. He shoots the woman and shoots the kid, tries to shoot the husband, kills 5 people. Turns out he has been back and forth across our border 5 separate times. And there's a manhunt out for this guy, Francisco Oropesa, 38 years old. Among the people dead, an 8-year-old boy in Cleveland, Texas. So this is a part of the story that no other network's reporting, that he's here illegally. He doesn't belong here. No deportation. Know what they're saying? Guns are a problem. Guns are a problem. So the FBI field office is releasing pictures of the guy. He's got a definitive tattoo. My sense is he's out of the country already. Here's an example of how the rest of the media is covering this. Cut 14.
We're going to begin with that massive manhunt after yet another mass shooting in this country, another mass shooting with a semi-automatic weapon. Police say that a man in Cleveland, Texas, killed 5 of his neighbors Friday night after being asked to stop firing his weapon in his front yard because the baby next door was trying to sleep. They say the suspect, 38-year-old Francisco Oropesa, is armed and considered very dangerous. He could be anywhere. Janet Shamlian is outside the sheriff's office with the latest on all this. Janet, I don't know what's wrong with this country. Good morning.
It's happened again, Tony. Here we are again in the United States. There is a manhunt underway in Texas for a suspect accused of killing 5 of his neighbors.
You get it. And I mean, they just don't see it. They see it's the gun. They want that story. I mean, they're not even interested in the trans shooter that shot up everybody in Nashville. They're saying we got to ban guns, and some 20-year-old decides to get a bullhorn and go to the the State House floor, and he becomes the story. What's the story? What warped, sicko mind goes out there and plots and plans to kill children and finds the one private school that goes in there and perpetrates it? Why we've got the manifesto. But no one even talks about that because they don't want the trans issue and the drugs and the hormones to play a role in that, and the fact that this guy was able to get 7 guns. Woman. John, listening on WDBQ over in Du Bois, Iowa.
How are you doing?
Hey, John.
Yeah, it's Dubuque, by the way.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Hey, I've been listening to what's been going on in Washington, D.C., and I think right now I already know who the people that I'm not going to vote for. And one of them is the president. He made a challenge in his State of the Union address to check records to see what a wonderful job he's done. So I did that. And I checked my gas bill from January of 2021, which is the first month of his presidency, and compared it to my January 2023 gas bill, which are both on budget pay since my wife and I are both in our 80s and on a fixed income, and find out that my gas bill has increased over 150%.
Yeah, John, nobody talks about that. I'm so glad you brought it up. People talk about what's at the pump. What about the gas? What about the natural gas going to your house? What about? It's unbelievable what's happened. That affects everybody's paycheck.
More people have worked all their lives to have a home to live in, like we did as retired people, or the low and middle income people who are out there busting their butts every day trying to make a living for their families, and have something like this happen, which just increases the cost of their living on stuff that's necessary: heat, food, and hot water.
Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate it. And I'm going to add something else to this. You have those heating costs going up, the inflation that's still present. You have these surrogates talking about Joe Biden bringing inflation down 40%. It was at 9%, now it's at 5%. It was at 1.4% when Donald Trump was president, when Barack Obama was president, when Bill Clinton and George Bush were president. So you jack it up, you cut it in half, and you want credit for a 40% decrease? Under what country is this about? And what is really maddening is this mortgage program that he's jamming down our throats. If you are worked hard to have good credit, make your payments on time, or not overcharge your credit card because you want to make sure your credit remains sterling to get that mortgage. In order to save your 15% to get that house, you're going to have to pay a fee on top of that. Those with great credit ratings and unable to put down enough down payment will be paying a fee to help those with bad credit who can't afford a down payment. That's socialism. We know about taxes, we know about fees, but you are directly punishing people for doing the right thing. If that doesn't get you unelected, I don't know what is. When we come back, we talk about freedom in America, appreciation for this nation, Ennis Cantor Freedom's here, what he sacrificed, what he did, his new Fox Nation special, and we'll talk a little basketball too.
You're listening to KSRO, the station you can depend on for traffic reports all morning long. We're your instant update on local and worldwide news, the scores, and more. We're your source for sports. With accurate weather forecasts you can count on, rain or shine. Sonoma County's News Talk, 103.5 FM, 96.9 FM, 1350 AM. News, traffic, weather, and more. Sonoma County's News Talk, KSRO.
First Republic Bank branches reopened today under new ownership. JP Morgan Chase.
First Republic has been teetering ever since Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank were closed back in early March.
David Chiaverini with Wedbush Securities. The only transgender lawmaker in Montana has filed suit demanding she be allowed back on the House floor. Republicans censured Zoe Zephyr after she refused to apologize for criticizing opponents of a bill that denies gender-affirming care to minors. The first private American evacuation flight from Sudan landed in Cairo this morning with 66 on board. The State Department's confirmed another U.S. citizen has died in Ukraine. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy addressing Israel's Knesset today.